Kubanychbek Omuraliev is a Kyrgyz diplomat and ambassador. He's currently serving as the Secretary General of the Organization of Turkic States, and he joins me now here in the studio. Mr. Ambassador, good to have you on the show. You have just had a chance to visit southern Turkey, the most devastated areas of this natural disaster. I want to begin by asking you what your initial impression was.
Thank you very much for inviting and having me, first of all. And secondly, I would like to, before to start our conversation, to express my deep condolences for Turkic nation, which is is February 16 was in this is earthquake in our Turkey in south region was really catastrophic. And yes, as you mentioned, we just come back. We visited last week earthquake region. We was in Marash. We visited Hatay, Gaziantep, Adıyaman. And during this visit, we meet with us officials as well with ordinary peoples. And of course, in this region, now is working and just yesterday, someone has come back. Our, from AFAT, from each member state and observers come to region to support. And this is more than almost 2,000. Our rescue and the research professionals come, and all from all member states and the observers. They not only this searching and they removing from the thousands peoples, and they support for hundreds peoples to life, to keep life. And the same time, our leaders, of course, Turkic member states and observers leaders, first day is reached with President Erdogan to provide condolences and the solidarity and support. At the same time, this is very important, people-to-people contacts, our ordinary peoples supporting, they providing assistance, including financial and humanitarian. They come to embassies of Turkey in each capital, and the many business and the NGOs also. And the more importance, they create and they bring our all member states some hospitals, which is very important also, and they provide some tents and the containers.
When you look at the roles that multinational organizations have played since February 6th, whether it's NATO or the European Union, they have primarily given humanitarian aid in the form of financial assistance, as well as maybe water, food, shelter, and so on and so forth. But I think the Organization of Turkic States plays an important role, not only because Turkey is a member. Turkey is also a member of NATO and an aspiring member of the European Union for many years, but this is a country that shares common cultural, religious ties, along with language as well. So I think the role of the OTS, the Organization of Turkic States, has a deeper meaning, and that is sort of coming out in some of the diaspora of the member states that are here in Turkey in terms of what they're doing on maybe even an individual level to help the survivors of this earthquake.
Yes, as you mentioned, is our background is we are historically very close nations. As you mentioned, language, culture, religion, history, etc. So I before earlier mentioned people-to-people contact, and this is the difficult time to our brothers sisters in Turkey. It was really everyone is stand up, and the Turkic world really united, stands and united. And as earlier I also mentioned, not only like including leaders and the other officials in the AFAT and or ministers foreign affairs, others, someone is come to visit it. But more important was from our ordinary citizen, their support, morally, through social media, not only humanitarian and the financial, is also in the, day by day is, increasing this support. But most of all, when it's come like professionals, this is search and rescue professionals coming work, in Turkey is living many ethnic, the Kyrgyz, Kazakh, Uzbek, or Azeri, others diaspora is living, and some young, our people, students, or business people, they come also together, stand up, and they providing some assistance in region. This is also more significant.
Azerbaijan, one of the member states, is actually one of the first countries, if not the first country, to actually not only pick up the phone and express their condolences to the Turkish president, but also send their search and rescue teams. Coming back to your visit to the southern part of the country, you've seen Hatay, you've seen Gaziantep, you went to the epicenter, Marash as well. What do you think right now, as we kind of transition from the search and rescue operation to a rebuilding operation, in terms of the Organization of Turkic States, what do you feel are some of the most immediate needs?
But immediately, so of course, to provide first assistance to people, and this is now is all already is done, and they also they continue from, of course, from first is Turkey government, and this is including our member states and observers, but of course more important is rebuilding is also is significant issue, and we in next month, March 16, will be held our informal extraordinary head of state council meetings. So in this time will be discussed and regarding for rebuilding issue.
The Organization of Turkic States, in its current form, is a fairly new organization. It is a growing organization as well. It has just accepted Turkmenistan as well as the Turkish Republic of Northern Cyprus as observer states.
Hungary too.
Hungary as well. I think that was in 2019. Thank you very much for correcting me. The three newest additions. Talk to us about how this organization is sort of increasing, not only in size, but in terms of influence in the region, but also in the context of responding to a natural disaster like this, in terms of coming together, increasing the appeal of the Organization of Turkic States.
Yes, and as you before mentioned, we have a connection historically, the thousands of years we are together. We just back to, to our history. So we now united, and we now starting work together. Yes, for organization, it's 12 years old, but for, for international organization is for age is too young, but same time is rebuilding to our relations, which was losses, for almost 100 years. The part of our Turkic world was under in Soviet Union, so Turkey was here. So others, our observers now is join us, as you mentioned. Is especially is in the Great Silk Road. In Great Silk Road is all our member states in Great Silk Road, but this is really especially after some kind of regional conflict, including Russia, Ukraine, is our this Silk Road and our some projects like Middle Corridor and the other transportation channels is becoming reality. Before was considering by not only regionally for others like alternatives. Now is these projects, all of them coming actually. So this is now this why is all world, not only regionally, is becoming more attention to by all the world.
Okay, Secretary General Omuraliev, thank you very much for joining us here on site. I do appreciate it.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.